So, and this is from 2005B, and it's test scores and question number one. Question ones on AP exams usually are confidence builders. There was an exception in 2024. We're like, whoa, why'd you start with that one? But most of the times, it's easier. All right, so the graph below displays the scores of 32 students on a recent exam. Scores on this exam range from 64 to 95 points. Describe the shape of the distribution. So you're going to want to use CSOCS or CCUS. So let me write down those acronyms. CSOCS, just like we did in the Moneyball activity, or CCUS. Either one is fine. All right. What does the first C stand for? It stands for context. Context, context, context is king. All right. Then the center, so I'm using CCUS. The reason I like CCUS is the CSOCS has O for outliers, which is an unusual feature, but gaps can also be unusual features, so it's not implied. So we got the shape, and then we had the spread, right? So we're going to find the context is test scores. So that's going to be spread throughout our answer. In fact, I might edit some of these here as we go through it to make sure I'm doing that. If we're going to find the center, so I'm going to start with the center here and make sure I mix context in between. First of all, you will be tested on this, and it can show up very easily on your AP exam, all right? You want to find, usually because there are no individual data points in here, you're not going to find the average, so you can't find it. We're going to need to find the median, which is the centermost data point. We have 32 data points up here, right? And they do tell us the min and the max. So we actually know one of those points is 64. We don't know which one. So what I need to do is find the middle of 32. Well, the middle of 32 is between points 16 and 17. And so if I count, there are 2 points here, and now I'm up to 4, 7, 11, 15, and then that means 16 and 17 are both in here. So they're both in this pile. Oops, did I put the wrong end? Yeah, no, I'm fine. So the median of the scores is somewhere between 85 and 89. All right, so because the lowest stem here is a 5, and the highest is an 89, and we don't know what it is. Okay, we don't calculate the mean, and so the next part is unusual features. There are no gaps, there are no outliers, so we say there are no unusual features. Then we have the shape. So how many peaks does it have? It's unimodal. It has one peak in the lower 90s. I could say, yeah, in the lower 90s. That's fine because it's a whole group of categories, so from 90 to 94. And it's skewed to the left. So one way you can do that, let me show you what I mean. I'm going to take a picture of this. And shockingly, all right, if you want to know skew, I'm going to use this space down here and paste it here. So that's a picture we're looking at, right? I'm going to actually tilt it. So you would turn your paper sideways, but since I have a computer and if I turn my monitor sideways, that won't be so easy. So you can see that you look at where, I like to say where the tail is. Okay, so if I did this, the overall shape is like that. So it's usually on the opposite end of the peak, it's skewed left, all right? So then we have, so we talked about the shape. It's got one peak. It's really right there, right? And the skew. All right. The minimum is 64 and the maximum is 95. So in this case, we're going to give the range. So I'm going to add a note on here. Later, we use measures like IQR or standard deviation in range instead of range. But for right now, that's all you know. And in fact, I believe sometimes that's all you can use. So here, let me move this up a little bit. So that's the best we can do. Then they ask, in order to motivate her students, the instructor of the class wants to report that overall the class's performance on the exam was high. Which summary statistic, the mean or the median, should the instructor use to explain the overall performance of the exam was high? Okay. Well, first of all, because there is skew, actually I'm going to change my answer here because I read it more carefully. All right. So these are side notes. Because there is skew, we should generally use the median. All right. All right. So in terms of just answering with centers, I'm going to move this down, move this up. But which one do you think will be higher? So that doesn't really answer this question. This question is she wants, okay, in this case, she wants a high score, right? So which is higher? The mean or the median, right? Well, the mean is being pulled lower by the skew. So the median is higher, and that is what she should use. All right? And that answers this question from 2005B. There is a Part C on it. They're not normally this quick, but I haven't taught you Part C, and that's why you're not even seeing it. So hopefully that gives you a good idea on how to answer these questions. Don't just give me, I know some of you are probably going to just give me lists, which is sort of okay, but let's try and start working on our writing because I know that's one of the biggest challenges you have. All right.